So now let's try to analyze the performance with the selection combining. So remember, we said that we have this generic diagram for the at the combiner for different types of combining schemes. Then you have this uh, multiplication gains for each of these branches. So in selection combining, because you would select only one of these branches which has the um, highest signature noise ratio. So you would have alpha I would be equals to 1 for the branch with highest SNR. And the signal to noise ratio at the receiver would be equals to, if ith branch is selected as the branch with the highest signal to noise ratio, then that would be equals to uh, es over n naught. Your signal to noise ratio, sorry, SNR would be equals to Ri squared over N naught B. That would be your signal to noise ratio, where Ri is your receive signal for the ith branch. So selection combining is typically convenient because one thing that you want to see here is that only one of these branches would appear at the combiner output. This means there are no two branches which would interfere with the phase of these phases would cause a problem if we have more than one branches. But if you have only one branch out of these capital N branches, you don't need to co-phase your signal in a way that you don't require, at least fundamentally, you don't require a co-phasing mechanism because there is no vector sum going on here. You have only one branch at the combiner output, and hence you can, for example, make use of the differential modulation schemes, and you don't require coherent detection with the selection combining. So that is one of the biggest advantage. And the other advantage is that you would see in a short while that it improves the performance a lot. Even the selection combining would improve the performance under the fading. So another advantage of the selection combining is that you don't have to you don't have to have a coherent receiver for each of the branches. So you can have, for example, a switch. For example, you have these capital M antennas. People have devised mechanism, and this switch switches to the branch that has the maximum signal to noise ratio, and you have only one receiver here, and that would give you your received signal. So that would result in cost saving, right? And then you have simple receiver structure because the number of RF chains at the receiver side have decreased because of this mechanism. There are certain scenarios, for example, if the transmitter is transmitting continuously, then in order to determine what is the signal to noise ratio on each of the branches, you would require coherent receiver on each of the branches. So there are variants, and that depend on the application that you are using the selection combining, right? So that should be kept into mind, that is this kind of a simplification is not possible always. So having said that, so let's do the analysis. So so we know that we are talking about selection combining, and so let's try to find out what is the speed CDF P, which is the CDF of the gamma sigma. The gamma sigma is your combiner output signal to noise ratio. We're making use of the selection combining. So P gamma sigma of gamma. In other words, we are trying to find out what is the CDF of gamma sigma, cumulative distribution function. So that would be equal to the probability that gamma sigma is less than gamma. So that is how your CDF is defined. And now if this gamma sigma is less than gamma, and remember your gamma sigma is the branch which has the highest SNR. if the branch with the highest SNR is less than gamma, then that would mean all the M branches would be less than gamma. So this would mean that what is the probability that the maximum of gamma 1 all the way to gamma m is less than gamma. That that would that would uh, that is of course implied with this equation, and that would mean that if all of these branches are undergoing independent fading, then that would mean that this p gamma sigma of gamma can be written as the product I equals 1 to capital N um, p gamma I, the probability that gamma I is less than gamma, or in other words, this probability is the CDF of the individual branches. Um, so that is what it is for selection combining. So the analysis looks simple. So once you have this CDF of a gamma sigma for selection combining, then you can take the derivative with respect to gamma, and you would find out what is the PDF of the selection combining. So for before computing the PDF, let's assume that we're talking about Rayleigh fading here. So let's assume a scenario here. So we have Rayleigh fading. Well, Rayleigh fading is simple to deal with. You can take the derivative. That would be easy. And your gamma I bar would be equals to the expected value of gamma I. So if you have capital M branches, so if I would be the index of the ith branch, and gamma I bar would be the expected value of gamma I. So for we know that we have for Rayleigh fading, your P gamma I of gamma would be an exponential distribution. That means it would be equal to 1 over gamma I bar e to the power minus gamma over gamma I bar. And we also know that the outage probability P out for Rayleigh fading is nothing but 1 minus e to the power minus gamma naught over gamma bar. That is your P out. Remember, your P out is nothing but the probability that gamma is less than some gamma naught. So this is nothing but um, if this gamma naught is replaced by um, by some value that so this is a fixed value. If you're computing an outage probability, this gamma naught would be a fixed value. If that is not a fixed value, if this is a variable, then this P outage would change to a CDF, right? So that we know already. So now, so in other words, if you want to find out what is P gamma I of gamma for the ith branch, which is really distributed, so that would be the equals to the probability that gamma I is less than gamma, and that would be equals to 1 minus e to the power minus gamma over gamma I bar. So that would be nothing but the CDF of the ith branch, which is Rayleigh distributed. So that there is a connection between CDF and P out that we would leverage in the analysis today. So that would make our analysis easier because we're talking about Rayleigh fading, which is exponentially distributed. Now let's compute the outage probability. P out is a function of gamma naught. So for different values of gamma naught, it should change. And we have seen that the outage probability for gamma sigma would be the probability that all of these branches is less than gamma naught. So if your gamma sigma, it would be equal to the probability that your gamma sigma is less than gamma naught, right? Where gamma sigma is the branch with the maximum SNR, that would mean that would be equal to the probability that max of gamma 1 all the way to gamma m is less than gamma naught, and that would be equals to that all of these branches individually from 1 to capital M is less than gamma naught, and that means that would be equals to the product I equals 1 to capital M, the probability that gamma I is less than gamma naught, and that we know that that would be equals to the product I equals 1 to capital M 1 minus e to the power minus gamma naught over gamma I bar. So that would be your outage probability with selection combining. We can further simplify this under certain assumptions. So if you assume that your gamma I bar is equal for all of the capital M branches, and that is, for example, equals to gamma bar, then this equation would be further simplified. So your P out as a function of gamma naught would be simply equals to 1 minus e to the power minus gamma naught over gamma bar whole to the power m. This m, the product would change to a power of m here. So that is your outage probability, right? For the with the selection combining, and we said that there is a connection between the outage probability and the CDF. So you can see that if you want to compute what is the CDF as a function of gamma, so this would also be very similar to this equation. So if you want to compute P gamma sigma of gamma, where P gamma sigma of gamma is nothing but the probability that gamma sigma is less than gamma, so that would be equal to, under these assumptions that you have equal branch SNRs, that would be equal to 1 minus e to the power minus um, gamma over gamma bar whole to the power n. So that would be the CDF of gamma sigma under Rayleigh fading under equal branch SNR. So now once we have the CDF of the Rayleigh fading, we can take the derivative of this with respect to gamma to compute what is the PDF. Right? So let's try to do that. So once we have the CDF, so let's try to find out the PDF. So P gamma sigma of gammas, which is the PDF is the probability density function of gamma sigma. That would be equals to d by d gamma of P gamma sigma of gamma, and that would be equals to m times 1 minus e to the power minus gamma over gamma bar whole to the power m minus 1 multiplied with the derivative of this internal function, that would be equals to minus e to the power minus gamma over gamma bar multiplied with minus 1 over gamma bar. So that would be equals to, that means your PDF P gamma sigma of gamma. Remember, this is for Rayleigh fading under the equal branch SNR, and that turns out to be a simple function that would be m over gamma bar is 1 minus e to the power minus gamma over gamma bar whole to the power m minus 1 multiplied with e to the power minus gamma over gamma bar. So now you have computed two important things for selection combining. So we have seen that under Rayleigh fading, what would be the outage probability uh, with equal branch SNR. And next, what we have seen is we have seen what is the PDF uh, of the combiner output with the selection combining. So now if you want to plot the outage probability as a compared to if you have on the x-axis if you have 10 log 10 of gamma bar normalized with the threshold gamma naught. That means that this is your gamma bar or gamma naught in dBs. And on this axis, if you have outage probability, so just I want to indicate. So this is the point of 10 to the power minus 4. So if you're looking at 10 to the power minus 4 outage probability, then if m is equals to 1, you require almost 40 dBs here. And for m is equals to 2, you would get a gain of 20 dBs here. A huge gain with only one increase in the branch. So that is the difference when you go from m is equals to 1 to m is equals to 2 for Rayleigh fading. Of course, you're talking about Rayleigh fading and you're talking about outage probability here. So as you move from m is equals to 1 to m is equals to 2, your outage probability, you get a gain of 20 dBs here. And then as you move from m is equals to 2 to m is equals to 3, get a further gain of 7 dBs here. So here you get a gain of 7 dBs. And then as you move from m is equals to, so this would be m is equals to 3. And as you move from m is equals to 3 to m is equals to 4, you get a further gain of 4 dBs. This would be 4 dBs. So one thing that you can notice here for selection combining, that as you are increasing your diversity, your number of branches, the gain you are getting is diminishing as you are increasing your n. But nevertheless, you're getting a substantial gain. And the most substantial gain you get is when you move from m is equals to 1 to m is equals to 2. You get a huge gain. Similarly, if you want to compute what is the average symbol error probability, and your remember your average symbol error probability ps bar would be equals to integral from 0 to infinity ps of gamma p gamma sigma of gamma d gamma, and now you have the distribution of gamma sigma. Then so you can at least simulate what would be your average symbol error probability, and this is typically done using a simulation because you would not get a closed form expression even for BPSK. For example, for BPSK it would be integral from 0 to infinity q of root 2 sigma p gamma sigma of gamma d gamma. This is your average symbol error probability, and you can see that the distribution of gamma sigma is no more exponential now. Right? So the distribution of gamma sigma is this complex looking equation m over gamma bar 1 minus e to the power minus gamma over gamma bar to the power m minus 1 times e to the power minus gamma over gamma bar. So this is a complex looking expression, but nevertheless, if you simulate this using Monte Carlo simulations, so what you get is again a very encouraging signs. Let me draw the graph here. So if on this axis you have your signal to noise ratio, on this axis you have average bit error probability for BPSK, then for m is equals to 1, you require 27 dBs for a bit error probability of 10 to the power minus 3. And as you move from m is equals to 1 to 2, you require only 15 dBs of signal to noise ratio. In other words, you get a gain of 12 dBs here already when you move from m is equals to 1 to m is equals to 2 with selection combining. You are getting a lot of gain here. You get a gain of 12 dBs here when you move from m is equals to 1 to m is equals to 2. And as you increase uh, your M. So you would get that SNR at 8 dBs with M is equals to 3. And then with M is equals to 4, you would get a further gain. But again, you would see diminishing returns here as well. So as you're increasing your number of branches here, the gain that you're getting in the average signal to noise ratio are decreasing by each m, but nevertheless this is really substantial because for m is equals to 7 or m is equals to 8, you would get a performance that you were getting under AWGN noise. So even with 7 or 8 antennas, if you can manage, and nowadays you have large number of antennas present in a very small areas for higher frequencies. So that this is very encouraging that with large number of antennas, your performance is improving, and you can not only achieve the performance of AWGN and even get beyond that if you keep on increasing your diversity order or number of branches. So that is really substantial, and you get a substantial gain with increasing the number of branches for selection combining and for other combining methodologies.